In fact, Maharashtra's figures there, 31, 32 and 27 for the BJP is what is being predicted. Well, Professor Datta, your thoughts on Maharashtra's figures?
Well, it's been a major contributor to UPA 1 and UPA 2, and so, Congress losing out is a major blow to Congress's prospects. But I suppose the corruption scandals at the state level have taken their toll. Even though Maharashtra remains one of the better administered states, if you take into account the performance, be it GDP or Human Development Index, any of the criteria that you would consider, it would rank along with Tamil Nadu and with Gujarat as one of the better performing states. But I guess the scandals that have haunted both Congress and NCP, both the partners, have contributed to Congress's demise, its decline in the state. So it'll have to sit back. And if it has retained to a certain extent its base, it's probably because of the fact that Prithviraj Chauhan was sent to Mumbai to take charge of the state government, and his performance, from all the reports that we have looked at, seems to have made a small difference to Congress's prospects.
Don't forget the other scam also. That would have also.
Yes, and Ashok Chavan.
And also, it would be interesting to see what the voting percentage in Maharashtra has been. That would probably.
It's been quite dismal. Mumbai turnout was very, very bad as well.
Forget Mumbai, Maharashtra as a whole. I believe it was encouraging. Often I don't remember the figures, but that also would indicate which way the wind has blown actually against the Congress as well.
Plus in Mumbai and Pune, there were about few lakh voters whose names was
60 odd lakh voters.
At both levels, there is anti-incumbency against the UP at the centre
and the state.
But if we see, BJP has been able to capitalize on its state governments being there in Rajasthan, in Madhya Pradesh. Congress has not really been able to do that, including our very own state.
No, to say that BJP has capitalized in every single state would not be correct.
Wherever
Rajasthan they have
government.
regained. Rajasthan they had lost. They have regained. It's only in Narendra Modi's Gujarat that they're having a clean third run. Madhya Pradesh, it has a lot to do with what Shivraj Singh Chauhan himself does on the ground. And again, because the Congress, despite having several strong leaders from Madhya Pradesh, just not getting its act together. Pretty much for the same reasons that the left ruled West Bengal for 34 years. It's not because it did a great job. So there are multiple factors that go into why a government continues in power.
What is one more thing is Shiv Sena should be extremely pleased if these numbers are to go by, because it's the first election after Balasaheb Thackeray's
and Shiv Sena should be all the more pleased, because if we do go by the numbers nationally, then it is the ally with the second highest number of seats.
Second biggest ally.
Second biggest, and without Balasaheb Thackeray there.
Yes.
And it can be more demanding.
The BJP is the first big party in NDA.
It's got 249.
So I mean, aside from the BJP within that alliance, Shiv Sena would probably be the largest.
Yes.
Followed by TDP.
Followed by TDP.
You can expect some creamy portfolios
for Shiv Sena. Well, there we have it. Maharashtra, they're going on to reflect positive numbers for the BJP. Another state which is expected to bring in cheer for the saffron parties, of course, Rajasthan, where BJP recently came to power. So let's quickly take a look at the figures there.
Right, Nishita, of course, as you mentioned, it is pretty much expected to swing the BJP way, and going by what the exit polls also have to state, it looks like it's the same. The sentiment from the assembly election seems to have spread to the general elections as well. In fact, it's almost a reversal if you look at what it was in 2009 and what it could possibly be in this year. You look at C-Voter, for example, BJP has got about 22, Congress only 2 seats. Nielsen and Chanakya also pretty much agreeing with that figure. Chanakya, of course, stating that BJP could get even 23 to 24 and Congress between 2 to 3. So it's a downright defeat for the Congress going by the exit polls, and the BJP will triumph with a huge victory, Nishita.
That's right. Thank you for all those figures, Akshita. Well, there we have it. Rajasthan, no brainer.
Not surprising, because all the indicators were that BJP would do well in Rajasthan, and the exit poll, for a change, I would somehow agree with indication numbers here.
You wouldn't say if they are true.
That is the premise with which I start. But nevertheless, the fact that I think this would be really closer to the mark. I think they're likely to get.
The honeymoon is continuing right
Yeah,
now.
not only that, because I think
Post-assembly
in the
elections.
Rajasthan area particularly, I think BJP is very strong. So that is reflected here. What is of interest would be independent. They're showing one independent having won. Now it would be interesting to know who this independent
Maybe just one thing.
That's what I was coming to. It would be interesting to see who this independent is.
So, Jaswant Singh factor has not really worked against the BJP.
It won't. I would have been surprised if it had worked. See, once you're out of the party, you're nobody. So I don't think it would be Jaswant Singh would have
Plus
made.
again, coming back to the state level party machinery. In Rajasthan, BJP has a fantastic state level party machinery. And so to neutralize one Jaswant Singh really doesn't take too
Very
much.
easy.
But for the Congress,
them.
it was one of their laboratories because Rahul Gandhi had his youth brigade also, handpicked leaders over there. So do you think that somewhere never
No,
worked?
But here again, what would have mattered was again corruption, UPA corruption, and also Vasundhara Raje Scindia's, she was in power in Rajasthan. That also makes a lot of difference if the state
And Ashok
government.
Gehlot had recently exited.
Yeah.
Plus, they have Sachin Pilot has just become the chief in order to set things right in Rajasthan. I think that will take some time, and his focus will be on Rajasthan, I guess, for the next couple of years.
Well, that's right. Well, let's quickly take in Professor Datta's thoughts on the same. Professor Datta, your thoughts?
This is one of the states where you begin to talk about Modi effect, along with all the other factors all the other advantages that BJP has in Rajasthan, right? So we are not actually speaking of Modi wave, but Modi effect, which will add an additional 2 to 3% or 4%. That would translate to a sweep of the state, right? So if BJP is getting 22, 23. The final numbers, if they're the same, it wouldn't surprise us. So this is where we get into the heartland of BJP support, where it is likely to get its core support.
Another state where there are no surprises and BJP is expected to gain fair and square is Madhya Pradesh. Akshita, over to you.
Right, Nishita, where there's a lot of talk not about the Modi wave but the Shivraj Singh Chauhan wave. Let's take a look at the numbers in Madhya Pradesh. There it is, of course, almost a given at this point that it will swing the BJP way. But by what margin is the question? Now, looking at, of course, a C voter, they've stated that 26 of the 29 seats will go to the Saffron Party and 3 will go to the Congress. But also looking at ORG Marg, of course, you can see that there the BJP is being given between 23 to 27. And for Congress, it is 3 to 5. Also, when you look at Chanakya, there they seem to agree with the C voter to a great extent that it will be 26 for the BJP and 3 for the Congress. So not much to argue about as such, Nishita. It definitely looks like it will be BJP all the way. The question is, what kind of an impact will Congress have? Will they have any impact at all?
That's right. Will they have any impact at all? Well, clearly, if we do go by the exit polls, none at all. Ms. Ashwin? Yeah.
Clearly picked. It doesn't come as a surprise.
Yes,
assuming it is
absolutely.
true, it doesn't come as a surprise. Along with the twin Rajasthan, it's a clear case of what was expected, because these two states remain BJP's base as such in terms of popularity, demand, and large number of vote bank. This thing,
Right.
plus the governance itself. I mean, that has added value to this.
I think it's just a continuation of the assembly results, just very much like what happened in Rajasthan.
Yes. Mr. Ashwati, now, last time I remember we spoke about how Shivraj Singh Chauhan could be the alternate Prime Minister candidate, but do you think now it will be happening with Rajnath Singh too sort of lobbying for himself?
Nishita, there are a few things that we also need to talk about on the 16th. Right? So I think we'll keep a few of these aside for now.
We'll keep a few of them
It's
aside.
probably just too early.
Okay, but your thoughts on Madhya Pradesh? It is given.
I would think the Congress would do marginally more than the numbers that you're seeing here. Because Jyotiraditya Scindia taking charge of the campaign there, etc. You know, parts of Madhya Pradesh society are very feudal in their outlook. Loyalty is a huge factor. And in large parts of the state, I think that little bit Jyotiraditya Scindia has been able to cultivate. So my guess is that maybe Congress probably is more like 5 or 6.
Do you think even if we do see the assembly polls, even these polls, Congress has not been able to capitalize Jyotiraditya Scindia?
see, again, we're coming back to the same question. That is a strategic error within the Congress party itself. The kind of free hand that local leadership needs to get,
Absolutely.
it does not get. And that's the nature of that party. Time and again they make that blunder. I mean, you know, in Karnataka Assembly, they got whatever, the number of seats that they did. If the local leadership was given charge from the very beginning, there was confusion up until the end. Nobody knew who was leading the campaign in Karnataka during the assembly days. You know, the same mistake is being repeated state after state after state. And this is the immaturity of the current day Congress leadership under Rahul Gandhi, and they are paying a price for this. Now, how many more years are you going to give Rahul Gandhi to mature? That's a question that the voters will have to answer 5 years later.
See, don't forget one more thing here. See, Madhav Scindia was a heavyweight. His son is not.
Not, yes.
So to that extent, despite what she says, she's right. In Gwalior, Shivpuri, etc.
But had he been given that free hand, could he have become that heavyweight?
I doubt under the present circumstances where you have, particularly in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, where the influence of the BJP is much more than elsewhere. I doubt whether he would have made
You
an
didn't have to give it to Madhav Scindia.
But
you could have
Madhav
given it to
Scindia-
Digvijay Singh.
Mother of
Right.
India would have made an
You know,
impact.
you have larger, I mean, senior leaders of the
Experienced
Congress, experienced hands, and Digvijay Singh, I mean, probably one of the most trusted men in the Congress party. He can take on anybody, anytime, anywhere. You know, whether he loses or wins is a different matter, but just the question of throwing up a challenge. Even, I mean, look how this election has played out. When it started out, it was Manmohan Singh's errors of omission and commission which created the space for Narendra Modi. Halfway through, people forgot all that. The debate became Narendra Modi. So, you know, if you throw up a challenge and if you do it seriously enough with all your might, somewhere along the line that challenge actually becomes a very serious movement in itself. And the Congress has never done it. Never ever done it. They did not try it in Madhya Pradesh for 3 elections now.
And this was also another case of paratrooping, wherein he was bought in at the last moment.
Last moment, yes.
Even before the assembly elections, I think 3 weeks before the assembly election,
Not even weeks, maybe days.
he came and he was asked to campaign and show results. I don't think this they need to get this fact that unless local leadership is strong.
See, I have interacted with Madhav Scindia when he was at peak. Believe me, he would have definitely made an impact, despite the growing influence of the BJP. He would have definitely made an impact in Madhya Pradesh. At least got about 8 odd seats, if not more. But Jyotiraj Scindia is still.
And mind
I
you,
won't call him a
Madhya
bacha, but
Pradesh,
still.
you know, as recently as a couple of months ago, you've had serious Maoist issues.
Yes.
You've had Dantewara. You've had, you know, and yet the voter does not blame the administration for that level of violence and loss of lives. So there,
That
you know,
we saw in Chhattisgarh too, when the entire
Yeah,
Congress
correct. Entire this thing was
leaders-
wiped
this,
out.
to my mind, is apart from the fact that Shivraj Singh Chauhan has undoubtedly done work worth talking about, just like Nitish Kumar has in Bihar, but there is also a Tina factor at play. Who do I vote for? I mean, who can I see? If I can't see an alternative, where do I cast my vote?
Right. Professor Datta, your thoughts on the same? Professor Datta, if you can hear us, can you share your thoughts on Madhya Pradesh figures? Well, we'll take Professor Datta's views maybe after the next state. We can put it together as the next state is Gujarat, again a BJP bastion. Well, Akshata, take us through the figures. What has Modi's state to offer? Does he cross the 20 mark?
Well, Nishita, no surprises here, but what we'll have to watch out for is the fact that the BJP said that the Congress will have absolutely no impact in Gujarat. So is that what exit polls have to say? Going by the numbers, you can see there that according to Nielsen, it is 24 for Gujarat, 2 for Congress. And besides that, of course, for ORG Marg, according to them, it's 22 and 4 for the Congress. And Chanakya pretty much figuring in between that with 23 and 3 for the Congress. So in a state which is, of course, where the Modi wave literally emanates from, and with all the talk about the Congress not managing even so much as a spot in Gujarat, it looks like they have managed to secure a few seats there, Nishita.